Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Future of series. My name is Gormy, and in today's Future of video, we are going to be covering the future of the Buffalo Sabres. I'm very excited to bring this to you guys. This team has a very exciting future, and the Buffalo Sabres fans should really be excited for what is going to be coming their way in the near future. And I mean, for you Buffalo fans in general, but the Bills and the Sabres have very promising futures up there, so expect plenty of playoff football and hockey up there in Buffalo. Now, in this episode, we're going to be talking about what kind of season the fans should be expecting. Going forward, who is the defense for this franchise? I pick the top 6 for who I think is going to be the future top 6 for this franchise. How good is the Sabres' future? That is where we will cover the prospect pool for the Buffalo Sabres. The future of Jack Eichel, that's going to be a very important subject in this video. And where do I see the Sabres 10 years from now? This is going to be a pretty in-depth video compared to my other one with the Blues, even though I am a Blues fan. I really feel pretty passionate about the Buffalo Sabres. I absolutely love what they're doing there in Buffalo. So before we get into the video, I have all my socials down below me here with my Twitter, my Twitch, Instagram. If you guys would like to check that out, feel free to do so. And without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so what kind of season should the fans of the Buffalo Sabres expect? Now, with the division realignments, with all these just whack things happening with the divisions, they are the only division that kind of stays the same. Actually, I think it stays the exact same almost. They've got Boston, New Jersey, the Islanders, the Rangers, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Washington. It's going to be a very competitive group, but I could see the Sabres competing for the 4th spot for the playoffs. Now, the Caps should definitely be in the playoffs. Pittsburgh should definitely be in the playoffs. And I think either the Rangers or Philadelphia will definitely be in. It'll be one of the two. Because if one has a good season, the other one I don't think is going to have a good season. They'll kind of be battling for that 4th playoff spot like Buffalo. Now, the reason why I say that is because it's not a knock to Buffalo whatsoever. It's just a lot of these teams have more pieces solidified than Buffalo does. Now, one thing that I think will be integral to Buffalo season is how Ullmark plays in net. Ullmark is going to be a stud for them, I believe, and he has not been the problem there in Buffalo. He has done a very solid job up there in Buffalo. He needs defensive help in front of him. That's what he needs. And with rumors probably now for the past few seasons that Rasmus Ristolainen wants out, that's one of your top 2 D-men. If he gets traded, what do you get back in return for him? Do you get prospects? Do you get defense that can help you now? There needs to be... You need to hold on to Rasmus Ristolainen if you're to have a chance to get that 4th spot in the playoffs. And with this team, it's the offense is definitely going to be there. Now having Taylor Hall is going to play alongside Jack Eichel. You're going to have Victor Olofsson coming back off of injury. He was lighting it up before he got injured. You're going to have Eric Stahl back with Jeff Skinner, so that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And if anyone has been watching the World Juniors, hello Dylan Cousins, welcome to Buffalo. I think you're going to be playing there this season. He has been absolutely phenomenal for Team Canada. Now, where he would slot into their lineup, I am not exactly sure, but I definitely think they should give him a look to play on the first-line power play unit, because if it's Dylan Cousins, Jack Eichel, and Taylor Hall, watch out, East Division. That is going to be a very potent power play there. So I think that the offense and Ullmark will definitely be big factors in if they make the playoffs. And if they do make the playoffs, it'll be as the 4th team. Now, how far they go in the playoffs, I think they could get a first round win. I think. It's not a guarantee, but I definitely think that they could get a first round win depending on who they play. But if they don't make the playoffs, it's not the end of the world. I'm sure that Taylor Hall is going to like what he sees there in Buffalo and what they're building, and he'll come back for another year. And by next year, I think Sabres fans will be very, very happy with the goaltending situation, because it will be Ullmark and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. And Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is a future goalie there in Buffalo. And honestly, I know that I stated in the previous video with the Blues that Joel Hofer is the future for the Blues. I wouldn't mind having Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for sure over Joel Hofer. But, I mean, Joel Hofer, very good goalie. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, very good goalie. So, the Blues and the Sabres definitely have goalies for the future. And Buffalo, I think that you guys are really going to like Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen once he gets a hold on the NHL level game. You guys are definitely going to be able to see what he's able to do. I think that he'll have an impact kind of like Igor Shesterkin did. And solidifying like, okay, it's my time here now in Buffalo. Let's see what we can do. I'm your guy's new Ryan Miller. Which I absolutely loved Ryan Miller. He's always been one of my favorite goalies. And I mean, if you guys can get anything out of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen like you guys did from Ryan Miller, the Buffalo Sabres are going to be a dangerous team in the future for sure. Moving on to the defense for this franchise in the future. Who do I see as the top 6 for the Buffalo Sabres in the future? Now, this is if Rasmus Ristolainen stays a Sabre for at least the next 3 years, I'd say. This is how I see the top 6 shaking up for the Sabres if Rasmus Ristolainen stays. And if not, it would definitely look a little bit different depending on what they get in return. But I see Rasmus Ristolainen and Rasmus Dahlin being the top duo for the Buffalo Sabres in going forward with the next 3 years. But for the future, Rasmus Dahlin is definitely going to be that top D-man for the Sabres. And then you've got Jake McCabe with Henry Jokiharju. That's going to be a very interesting duo, I think. I think that Jake McCabe he's an underrated D-man for sure. But Henry Jokiharju, I think when the Sabres got him, that is one heck of a player that they got, because he's young, he's European. A lot of the players on the Sabres right now are European, and Henry Jokiharju, his cap, I think he could be like another Rasmus Ristolainen. So if Rasmus Ristolainen gets moved out, I think Henry Jokiharju would move up to that number 2, and he would be with Rasmus Dahlin on that first pairing. Now, Ryan Johnson and Matthias Samuelsson, they're definitely going to need some time, but Matthias Samuelsson might actually get that time this year with the Sabres. But I think that Ryan Johnson and Matthias Samuelsson would definitely be a very, very solid bottom pairing defensively for the Sabres. And I mean, with all these guys, any of them can play a PK, any of them can play a power play, especially Rasmus Dahlin. He can quarterback a power play. But I mean, with Rasmus Dahlin and all these guys coming of age and really developing their defensive skills, they're really, really going to get good at killing off penalties, playing better in their defensive zone, covering for Ullmark, making sure that he doesn't have to stop the second, third, fourth, fifth shots, because sometimes Ullmark has to stand on his head just like Ryan Miller used to have to do. So I think that this future 6 right here would be pretty good for the Buffalo Sabres. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys think anybody else could be in this top 6. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on what I have here for the future of the defense with the Buffalo Sabres. All right, now moving on to how good is the Buffalo Sabres future. It's pretty good. I mean, if you guys have been watching the World Juniors this year, last year, the year before, you've been seeing a lot of their players come through these World Junior Championships. I mean, just recently, you've got Dylan Cousins, who is going to be playing in the gold medal game against Team USA, and then John Jason Peterka, who was on Team Germany. Now, Jack Quinn is also on Team Canada with Dylan Cousins, but Dylan Cousins has definitely taken over as, hey, I'm the main man you want to watch right now on Team Canada. And then John Jason Peterka, he was very, very good for Team Germany, even though they definitely were unlucky in the tournament. But John Jason Peterka definitely showed what he is capable of. And I mean, just looking at what the Sabres have, this is just the top 8 in my opinion. Dylan Cousins, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, John Jason Peterka, Jack Quinn, Casey Middlestat, Matthias Samuelsson, Ryan Johnson, Jacob Bryson. This is probably one of the most well-balanced prospect pools you could ask for like a Super 8, I guess you could call it. Because with the Blues, I highlighted 10. But, I mean, with prospect grading-wise, the Sabres have an A. The Blues have like a B. Maybe a B. Maybe B+, potentially. But that would be if I was being a homer. And I'm not. But the Sabres, their prospect pool is just amazing, honestly. Like, Dylan Cousins is lighting it up at the juniors. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is going to be the franchise goalie. John Jason Peterka in the future will definitely contribute in major ways. Like, he'll be a top 6 forward for sure. Jack Quinn, if he can get to how he was producing last year, you got a very, very good sniper and playmaker in him. Casey Middlestat, if he can get back to the way that he used to be, like at the juniors and when he was first coming about, the Sabres have gold up front, really. And then Matthias Samuelsson, Ryan Johnson, Jacob Bryson, they are very solid defensemen, and it's what you need because defense wins championships. And the Sabres have plenty of defensemen that can develop and become just very, very solid all-stars or just at least elite D-men for them, if not all-stars, that can help them win a Stanley Cup in the future. And, I mean, having Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in the future in net, I mean, anything is possible for this Buffalo Sabres franchise. And, I mean, Jack Eichel still, he's only 24. He hasn't even hit his prime yet. And with these 8 guys that will be coming up in the next few years to come up and help him, this Buffalo Sabres team is going to be very, very scary. Because say within the next 3 years, like Taylor Hall resigns, you could have probably Taylor Hall with Jack Eichel and Victor Olofsson. Then you would have like John Jason Peterka, and then either Jack Quinn and Casey Middlestat with Dylan Cousins. And then your third and fourth line, you would figure that out. But defensively, the defense would be stacked. And like they would still be developing throughout this time, but like 5 years from now, the Sabres could definitely be cup contenders if everything goes according to plan with their development and making sure that they get all the right pieces that they want to put around Jack Eichel. Because Taylor Hall is a great starting piece. That's a phenomenal starting piece to put around Jack Eichel. But I mean, this prospect pool, I gave them an A grade. It's definitely deserved. Their prospect pool is phenomenal. And it's definitely, in my opinion, probably one of the top 5 prospect pools in the league. All right, so now we are on to the future of Jack Eichel. Now, Jack, he is a center, 6'2", 203 pounds. He's only 24 years old. He is a bigger player than McDavid because he went number 2 to McDavid. So he's going to be compared to him for a long time because they were taken 1 and 2. Do you get from him what you get from McDavid? No, because they're 2 completely different players. McDavid is a very speedy player, whereas Eichel, he has speed, but he uses his size. McDavid doesn't have the size that Eichel does. Eichel is a big dude. Even though he's only 6'2", he's a big dude. And in 354 games, 137 goals, 200 assists for 337 points, that is pretty good. And he's been injured a little bit throughout that time. So he could definitely be a point per game player if he wasn't injured. But I mean, just what he's going to be able to do in the future, because he's only 24. He has not hit his prime yet. He's getting to his prime. And once he hits his prime, he's going to be scary. He is going to be scary. Because with like what I just highlighted with the prospects coming up, all of them are going to be coming into their own once he's in his prime. If he reaches just ultimate American player stardom in the NHL, watch out. He could take the league by storm at any moment. Yes, it's been Nathan MacKinnon this past season and Leon Draisaitl. And right now the big three players are Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon, Leon Draisaitl, but he's number 4. This dude is unreal. Now the thing is, with Jack Eichel, he has been on nothing but a losing team, unfortunately, since he's gotten there. And that's what comes with rebuilding. He has been the main focal point of the rebuild. That is why he is a -60 for his career right now. Now, in the future, that will definitely get towards him becoming a even plus-minus player. But when he is out on the ice, he produces. As when he's on the power play, he has 40 power play goals and 118 power play points. And when he is out there in clutch moments, he has 24 game-winning goals. So this dude is the real deal. And the future of Jack Eichel is very, very bright. With Jack Eichel, he is definitely going to be one of the league's top players. He'll be a top 10 player. Once like Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews, Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, Gino, all of them retire, he's a top 10 player in the league. He's getting there right now, but he's not a top 10 player right now. For like future big players, he's in the big 4. The big 4 are Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon, Leon Draisaitl, and Jack Eichel. Now, it kind of does depend on if everything pans out with the Buffalo Sabres and their prospects and everything, because it could all be golden, or it could be a few more years of suffering. But I think that the years of suffering for the Buffalo Sabres fans are coming to an end. I really do. And I mean, with the Buffalo Bills, it's come to an end. I could not be happier, because they are easily one of the most fun teams to watch. So I mean, the time has come for Bills fans to jump through tables in the playoffs. That's going to be happening for you Sabres fans very soon. You guys are going to be smashing tables as well. Now, where do I see the Buffalo Sabres in 10 years? I see them at a Stanley Cup final. I'm being blunt, straight to the point with this team. I see them at a Stanley Cup final in 10 years. It could very well happen before then as well. If everything works out perfectly, which it is really hard for that to happen, they could maybe do it in 7. But 10 years from now, I think that the Buffalo Sabres will be in a Stanley Cup final, or even be Stanley Cup champions 10 years from now. I think by the end of this decade, they are going to be one of the teams to beat. And it's a process. You got to trust the process. And Buffalo Sabres fans, you guys are going to love what you guys are going to be getting from this team. With the prospects, definitely pay attention to them, invest in them. But yes, I see the Sabres and the Cup 10 years from now. Whether they win it or lose it, I am not entirely sure. But I see the Sabres getting to a Stanley Cup final 10 years from now with everything that is in place. The wheels are turning for the Sabres. They are going to become a very big threat in the NHL. And you Sabres fans are going to have one hell of a ride watching this team. It is going to be a lot of fun. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of The Future of with the Buffalo Sabres. Please let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on what I had to say about the future of the Buffalo Sabres. Let me know what you guys think of the prospect pool, the future of Jack Eichel in the league, what you guys think he can become. If you guys think that the Sabres can get to the Cup 10 years from now, or if I'm reaching a little bit too much with that. And let me know, Buffalo Sabres fans, what you guys are excited to see in the future with this team, and in this upcoming season, what you guys are excited to see from the Sabres. Now, with all that being said, please do not leave without leaving a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.